Hello and welcome back to Rev Sports. You are watching the post-match live show presented by the IDFC First Bank. And what a resounding win for Team India. It just took them 36 minutes after the lunch to wrap up Sri Lanka innings. 4 wickets taken by Manav Sutar and wickets fell like a pack of cards. It didn't seem like it will happen after the fight that Sri Lanka showed in the first innings, especially Sonal Dinusha. He was denied a century by Manav Sutar, a well thought plan by Manav Sutar, and then he ran through the tail enders of Sri Lanka, and to complete a big win for India and to start the series on a high note. A lot of talking points from this game, but definitely we'll have to start with the what we saw post lunch. Devashish, the way Manav Sutar bowled, we said this in the first after the first session that he looked a bit flat. He was not getting a lot of turn on offer in the first session, but the way he responded in the second session, he came up with the different plans. You saw, so for Sonal Dinusha, he had a leg slip in place, the only closing fielder, and then getting Sonal out. It was very important for India to get Sonal out, because he was the one who has been the binder of Sri Lanka's innings.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a crucial wicket because on that particular over, the 76th over of the second inning, he took 3 wickets. The first couple of deliveries produced wicket, and the last delivery also produced a wicket of Lainu Kumara. So 3 wickets in that match, and he came back and took that wicket as well. So I think all in all, 10 wickets in a match, twice in a test match. He did it against Afghanistan. He followed it up with the test match against Sri Lanka. What more can you ask for? So I think it was only fitting that the way he has been performing, I think he guarantees a place as a premier bowler now, premium left-arm spinner now. Keeping in mind, whenever Washington Sundar, if he is available or not, or Kuldeep Yadav, I think Manav Sutar has to be in that playing 11 as far as test match is concerned.
And since you guys are questioning and must be wondering why we are doing this indoors, because the moment the match ended and there was post-match presentation ceremony that was going to happen on the ground, then arrived the rain. There was no forecast of rain today. Until the match, till the last ball was bowled, there was nothing, no single droplet. But as soon as the match got over, there was a strong passing shower that came, and that halted the post-match presentation ceremony as well, and that forced us to indoors. But talking about Manav Sutar, 4 wickets in the first innings.
In fact, I was concentrating sending the post-match pictures. That's the reason I wasn't able to concentrate. But now that I have sent, it's okay now.
Now he's relieved of his duties now as a photographer. But coming to Manav Sutar again, 4 wickets in the first innings, 6 wickets in the second innings, an important wicket. Talking about that particular dismissal of Sonal Dinusha, Devashish, if you look at this first session, they had so many closing fielders. They tried a lot of things. Manav Sutar, Kuldeep Yadav, they were unable to get the breakthrough, get the important wicket of Sonal Dinusha. But in the second session, there was a different plan. There was no slip, there was no forward short leg, there was no silly mid-off. It was leg gully in place. And what he did, he attacked the stumps, he persisted with that stump to stump line, and just a bit of turn was enough to take the glove, and there was a leg slip in place there to take the catch. Such spot-on planning from the bowler and the captain.
Yeah, you need to put on thinking hat when something is not going your way. You need to think, and that is the beauty of Test cricket. And obviously he must have spoken to Sairaj Bhautule or Gautam Gambhir given the lunch break, because immediately after the lunch break, means after in a matter of 36 minutes, that the Sri Lankan the remaining 4 wickets fell. And we were always going to discussing in the lunch session as well that it was a matter of time that Sri Lanka will get bowled. There was no, the beauty is that, but as we speak, the sun has again come out. So even had that rain enforced a stop, I think it would have again started. So nothing could have saved Sri Lanka from getting lost.
Unless you put on a fight like Sonal Dinusha did, but he needed somebody. He needed somebody at the other end. There was a good partnership with Captain Dhananjay De Silva, 95-run partnership. and that sort of frustrated Indian team in the first innings. If first hour of the first session, if you look at that, it was a wicketless first hour of today. But after that, the way Indian team came back, Ravindra Jadeja again, he looked threatening. He looked the most threatening bowler in the first session, getting the wicket of Dhananjay De Silva. Then Prasidh Krishna coming in his first over and getting Niroshan Dikvela out, who was the second highest run scorer for Sri Lanka in the first innings. Again, two important wickets, and we said in the start of the day that it was only about 3 wickets for India. It's yes, 6 wickets they have to take to complete the formalities. But going by the number of specialist batters Sri Lanka had before the start of the day, it was only three: Dhananjay De Silva, Sonal Dinusha, and Niroshan Dikvela. But it's now from one performer to another performer. Manav Sutar, we talked about him. We'll continue to talk about him in the build of the next test as well, because such has been his mastery against these batters. But coming to Sonal Dinusha, again 100 in the first innings. You follow it up with another 84 run innings. This guy has shown a lot of character, and he has got such a good technique against pacers, against spinners, against all kind of. He seems like that player can take Sri Lanka cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. And he showed tremendous temperament, and also the skills, the mindset that is needed to be excel in Test cricket. So far in his early days, it's early days for his Test career. Played only 4 Test matches, but look at the numbers of runs he has scored for Sri Lanka. He has already scored a 92, followed it up with 100, and now 84. So I think. Uh, the selectors and the team management should think about promoting him maybe higher up the order so that he gets more time to bat on, because clearly you can see he was just running out of partner. Had he got that support from the other end, you never know. In cricket, strange things happens, and I think he fell short with a partner. Anyone who could have persisted with or stood at the other end, he would have the luxury to bat out them. And so perhaps scored his second 100.
I think where Sri Lanka lost this game is largely because of their top order contributions. You look at India, KL Rahul and Devdutt Padikkal. In the first innings, they had a 100 plus run partnership. If you look at the second innings, again, two of the three top order batters having a 50 plus run partnership. So KL Rahul, Devdutt Padikkal, if you look at the way Indian top order, yes, apart from keeping aside Yashasvi Jaiswal, if you look at the combined effort of the top order of Indian team, and you compare it with the Sri Lankan top order, then you see the volume of runs Indian top order scored and the volume of runs Sri Lankan top order scored. Sri Lanka's top order got vanished very quickly in both the innings, and you need big runs from your top order in order to post big totals, in order to take leads. That didn't happen with Sri Lanka, and that's something they will be worried of. Obviously, their first choice opener Pathum Nissanka is not there, and that is why the makeshift opener who scored two half centuries in the practice game against India. But here it clearly tells you that why his average is below 30 in Test cricket. I'm talking of Nishan Madushka, and then three Chandimal in the first innings, Surya Bandara in the second innings. Although it was a bit harsh, but Sri Lanka need their top order to fire. Otherwise, again the second test will again be one-sided affair.
Yeah, absolutely, and that has been the difference between India and Sri Lanka. If you look at that number 3 partnership between Devdutt Padikkal and KL Rahul, how crucial that was. That 146 runs that KL Rahul and Devdutt Padikkal posted. I think that proved to be the difference between the two sides.
Exactly. That is the main difference. That the partnership that KL Rahul and Devdutt Padikkal, these were two of the architects of India's win. Obviously, we'll talk about Manav Sutar, Ravindra Jadeja's contributions in both the innings, but with the bat, it was first Devdutt Padikkal and then KL Rahul in both the innings. Both reached double digits in both the innings. That's why it is important to bat. And at the toss, when India made the decision to bat first, that's what they have to do. They have to do a big first innings total. It's very important to post a big first innings total so that you don't allow the opposition to wrestle back in the game. That's what happened in this test match. But Devashish, now coming to India's spacers as well, because it was obviously a game dominated by Indian spinners. Spinners in spin general overall, if you see, spin dominated the game, but the important wickets were taken by the pacers as well. If you talk about Mohammad Siraj, the start he provided in the first innings, and then Prasidh Krishna, first Dikwela in the first innings, and then Kamindo Mendes yesterday, and today again Dikwela. Pacers also in this heat, they also provided the support role to the
And I
spinners.
think credit should be given to Shubman Gill the way he handled his pressures because these are hot conditions, and the way he used Prasid and Siraj, and that should be credited. And also when people every time the Prasid Krishna plays, there has been a lot of criticism. I think this was one such performance which should not only please him, but obviously it will be a statement for his detractors as well.
Yeah.
He has definitely looked even I'm just the second innings. I think he has looked lot more threatening than even Sri.
Definitely, if you look at the lines he bowled, he was closer to the option, beat the left-hander, beat the right-handers, and the setup to dismiss Kamindo Mendes yesterday. He kept coming back in. He was targeting his body, and then one away going delivery. Kamindo Mendes played at it, and then he got out. And that's what planning does to you. I think now slowly we are seeing the evolution of Prasidh Krishna as a thinking cricketer who is thinking, who is, in test cricket you have to set up batters like Manav Sutar has done in his short career so far. Prasidh Krishna has also done that in this particular test match, and that tells you that why Indian team has so much of faith in Prasidh Krishna in his abilities. Shubman Gill, remember Shubman Gill what he said before the start of the this test in the pre-match press conference, that it is the best that I have seen Prasidh Krishna bowl. So if a captain is saying this in a presser ahead of a big test match, that tells you that the team management, the captain has belief in your skills. It's just you have to prove your worth out there in the middle, and that's what Prasidh Krishna has done. I think he looked like, I completely agree with Debashish on the point that he looked far more threatening, even more than Mohammad Siraj in the second innings, in this fourth innings of the test match. So a very good signs for Indian cricket, because now it will again create a healthy competition. Like heading to SSC, what combination you will go with. But now let's talk about Kuldeep Yadav, Devashish. Again, he was not brought into the attack after lunch, and only one wicket in this entire test. The least number of wickets that has taken by a spinner in this test is by Kuldeep
I mean,
Yadav.
you can see from his body language. Means obviously, I think he was not enjoying. Means obviously, when he was after the post match, when the players were shaking hands, you could make out from the body language of Kuldeep Yadav. It feels bad. Feels bad. Someone who knows Kuldeep is such a lively character, but the things haven't gone well for him in this test match. First innings he got only one wicket. Second innings he went wicketless, and that is what means obviously in this scenario, it is the team management that needs to give confidence.
And that's what was
That has
about the next
that,
question, that
and
how much of a role the team management captain has.
I think the captain hasn't shown that confidence to Kuldeep in this particular test match. If you ask me among the three spinners, he has always looked upon Manav Sutar, threw him the new ball in the second innings. Ravindra Jadeja, he started the bowling from the pavilion in today, right from the start of the day's play. But when it comes to Kuldeep, he was thrown the ball after 50 overs, if I'm not wrong. After 50 overs, he was brought into that, and that clearly shows that the captain is not having the confidence in Kuldeep.
Even in the first innings, he bowled the same number of overs which a Prasidh Krishna bowled. He bowled 14 overs in his first innings, and Prasidh Krishna also bowled 14 overs. So, your front line spinner in these conditions where spinners have done a lot of damage, you are only making your front line spinner bowl 14 overs, similar to your pacer. So, it tells you that Shubman Gill, I know it's when you have a lot of options, it's very tough to give equal number of overs to everybody. But again, you should give confidence to the bowler who's not taking wickets, who's not looking in rhythm, because this test was already sealed. It was just about a formality when
Exactly.
you are wrapping it up.
Exactly,
So
exactly,
it was
exactly.
about giving that confidence that we will finish this game. But it is important that my frontline spinner in Kuldeep Yadav gets the confidence heading into the next test, because this game is done. But you also have to think about the upcoming challenges as well, and that's where I think Shubman Gill could have been better with the way he handled Kuldeep Yadav.
I remember Kuldeep Yadav is an experienced bowler. You cannot tell
exactly.
Kuldeep Yadav as a youngster. So I think the captain needs to talk to him, share his views. If he is not in the scheme of things for the second test match, which begins at his SSC on from August 28th, he needs to have a word with Kuldeep. Maybe after going to the hotel or during the off time, there has to be a communication. That's what when the player also feel, okay, I have been communicated. It's not that I have been taken for granted. Means that is what I think, and this team has time and again showed. Means so when you talk about a Gautam Gambhir, means there needs to be a clarity.
There needs to be clarity, and clarity is something. Okay, so Devdutt Padikkal is the man of the match, and no surprises. The way he batted in the first innings, he was the one who made sure that India post a big total, and even in the second innings, he got very close to scoring his 50. Devdutt Padikkal, for his 211 runs, if I am not wrong, and 211 runs is the second highest
Yes.
tally by an Indian batter in India Sri Lanka Test matches. First is obviously Rahul Dravid, his idol, with 215 runs. So Devdutt Padikkal, a very good, a very memorable comeback game for Devdutt Padikkal. Devashish, he was the one who set up the game with that big 100. But what was important to follow it up with another innings of real substance, which he did in the second innings.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Even the second innings also, he looked quite confident. He looked quite confident before he eventually got out. I think he would be ruining the fact that he could not reach his half century. Both KL Rahul and Dev, and once again in the second innings, Yashasvi Jaiswal got dismissed in the first over, and it was that partnership. Means yes, they did not stitch a big one like they did in the first innings, 146 runs, but even that small partnership was somewhat set the platform for India, and then that Rishabh Pant knock post lunch session. I think the the body blow was done by Rishabh Pant.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
think.
No doubts about that. Rishabh
That
Pant.
66 of 69 balls took the match away from Sri Lanka.
Yeah, and it was a matter of time. If not for Rishabh Pant's knocks, India would have wandered out early, and then it was about time at how long Sri Lanka will bat. So I think there are so many heroes of this match. If you talk about the Indian team, a lot of things have gone their way. Only a couple of things like Shubman Gill not scoring runs, Yashasvi Jaiswal not scoring runs, Kuldeep Yadav taking only one wicket. I think these are the only dark spots from for the Indian team from this game. But apart from that, a very clinical win and a very good start to the series. Next test is in Colombo. We will be there at the SSC Sinhalese Sports Club to provide you all the coverage. And obviously, we'll talk about this particular match in detail at our 5 p.m. show. So don't forget to join us then, and we'll be back then. So thank you for watching, and keep following Rev Sports.